have a question for my audience. Do any of you guys have any experience or knowledge with bouldering? I don't see many hands up, which is good for me because I'm here to demonstrate to you the basics of bouldering. Bouldering is to climb rocks without the use of safety tools. And I will teach you the proper equipment, motion, form, and dangers of bouldering. But before I even get into my demonstration, I would like to provide a slight background with me in this sport. I've only been climbing about 7 months now at my local rock climbing gym. I have never climbed outside yet, but I plan to do so when the weather gets better. Although I don't have a long history with the sport, I feel confident in my ability to teach it. And I know that some of you may be intimidated by this sport, but the scariest part about sports is starting it. Now, first and foremost, let's get into equipment. You will need 3 basic equipments for bouldering. The first one will be the shoes, as seen here. These shoes are designed to stick onto the walls with their stubs. These stubs have a lot of friction in them. Do not try to replace these types of shoes with other shoes because you will most likely slip as they are not designed for bouldering. The second item you'll need is chalk. Chalk is a great tool to increase friction between your hands and the surfaces. It will not only reduce stress on your hands, but also make it easier to grab onto rocks. The third item you'll need is a chalk bag. The chalk bag is useful for multiple reasons. I will only name 2. 1 is to hold your chalk. 2 is that when your hands get sweaty while climbing, you could actually latch this onto your hip, your waist actually. And while climbing, you could, when your hands get sweaty while climbing, you could just dab your hands one at a time to re-dry them. Now, next part is motion. Motion is important because you don't want to put too much pressure on only one body part. You will use mainly the back, your legs, and your arms. The purpose of the back is to pull because the back is the strongest pull muscle in your body, and when you grab onto rocks with your arms, which is their purpose, you will pull. Make sure not to use your arms because it will result in injury. I used to get tendonitis, really bad tendonitis, when I first started climbing because I used my arms too much. Now your legs. Your legs are going to work together with your arms and your back. When you try to move upward, make sure to use your legs as much as possible to push and pull with your back. This will not only allow you to go greater lengths, it will also put less pressure on your back. Now for your arms, while holding, there's a lot of pressure on your arms because you're holding your entire body weight essentially. So try to put your feet onto the wall to support your arms and your hands. Now for forms. There are 4 forms that I will teach you today. The first form is hanging. Hanging is a useful tool to conserve energy and allow a greater range of motion. If you try to stay close to a wall, you'll use up a lot of energy, put a lot of pressure on your arms, and it won't allow you to move around very easily. Second form is matching, where you put both your hands on a single rock. This allows greater stability and puts less pressure on your hands. The third form is using your feet and stubbing it with the front of your feet. This allows you to not only support your arms, but also be able to rotate and allow greater range of motion. Do not try to step with the left sideways because you will slip and fall. The fourth, more complex form is flagging. Flagging requires you to stretch out your leg in the direction that your body is swinging, and it will touch the wall so that it will provide stability. Usually this is the case when you have no other rocks to step on, and it will not only provide stability, but allow you to have a greater range of motion as well. Now, finally, the dangers of rock climbing. Since you're not wearing safety tools while doing this sport, it is very dangerous. It may lead to small to big injuries or even death. So you have to be mentally and physically prepared for this sport. Remember, safety is priority number one. And when you get off of climbing, make sure you land correctly or you could get injured. Now let's recap what we learned so far. To boulder, you will need 3 basic equipments: shoes, chalk, and chalk bag. And remember the motions that you will need to climb: your back, your arms, and your legs. Back pull, arms grab, legs push. Now for forms, remember your 4 basic forms I taught you: hanging, matching, stubbing, digging, and flagging. And remember the dangers that comes with bouldering, and I hope that you guys learn from this demonstration boulder as well.